Well, good afternoon and welcome to our Ash Wednesday reflection, kind of. Ash Wednesday is a tradition in the church. It's been observed for centuries and it was part of the process of Lent, but it was also part of your preparation for baptism. So baptisms weren't handled as and when they were booked. They were only ever done for Easter Sunday. And there's something quite poetic about that, I think, about the journeying through Lent and letting go of all those things and observing Jesus's temptation in the desert and then coming to baptism and making those promises quite sincerely and quite earnestly. For me, Lent is about giving up. We do Shrove Tuesday, we do the pancakes, and if you read my reflection yesterday, you'll be asked that question, how are we all like pancakes? Well, it's because God can take the mess in each one of our lives and actually make that something far, far better. And in the world we're living in at the moment with COVID and all the other situations emerging and lockdown and other horrible things going on, we actually have a God who can make that better, who we can reach out to in hope. Now, one of the things I love about Ash Wednesday is that idea of putting on the ash. Now, in the early church, we made baptism candidates prepare for baptism with understanding, learning the Ten Commandments, learning these traditions of the church, but also sometimes even going as far as to put on sackcloth and ashes to say, I'm going to become a Christian and judge me by that. Wow, we don't do that any longer, thank goodness. We just hope you turn up in a nice white robe and not your sackcloth. But Ash Wednesday is about getting yourself prepared for what Jesus is about to do for us, to reflect on what he did for us on the cross. Now, for me, one of the things I really struggle with is letting go. I know I do things wrong. I know I make mistakes. I know I upset people all of the time. And it's quite bad sometimes for a man in a ministry position to say that. But actually, God forgives us and God can make that mess better. So what I was going to say for today is we're going to make palm crosses. Now, what I want to do with these palm crosses is you might want to make two. Because there's two palm crosses. Historically and traditionally on Ash Wednesday, we burn the palm crosses from last year as a sign that we're letting go of them in preparation for the ones we're going to get on Palm Sunday. Many of you probably don't have a palm cross from last year, but this is even better, I think, because we can get our strip of paper, and on our strip of paper we can actually write those things that we didn't like that we've actually done. So there might be something you've done that you'd want to let go of. And what I'm going to encourage you to do is write on your strip of paper. This is just a piece of A4 paper that I've cut to about 1 centimetre across, probably a little bit under 1 centimetre across. I don't do old money, unfortunately, so you'll have to figure that one out. But it's kind of a finger width across, okay? Now, write on there some things you want to let go of. You don't need to tell anyone about them. You don't need to show them to anybody. This isn't a guilt thing, okay? But do kind of have a think about that. I'm just going to close my blind because that's getting a bit silly. There we go. Now, the way you make a Lent cross, and he says this may have to stop if I make a mess, but you take your piece of paper and you basically find about the halfway point and then you move a little bit above it and you make a fold to the side, okay? So you're trying to make a 90-degree fold and you try and keep it as tight and straight as possible because then you won't end up with a wibbly-wobbly cross at the end. And then we end up with this. So we have this bit on the top, folded over 90 degrees, and we just have this little angle like that, okay? So we have the angle facing us, the angle on the top corner, and this bit is on the top. We then fold up the bottom bit, okay? So we end up with the bit on top, and your little line going down the piece away from you. We then turn it over in front of us, and we then go up again with that same bottom piece. And the aim here is to try and make a little box type shape. Okay, so you end up with this, you end up with a flat bit in front of you, and you end up with a flat bit behind you. You're now going to take this part and you're going to fold it towards you and round the other side. Okay. And if you look now, you should be able to see a hole just in the very back. And if you just very carefully, you should be able to feed this piece through until it comes out the other side, he says. If it doesn't come, you'll just have to have a little, keep looking into the hole, because what there is that little angle in there, and you may need to make sure you go between it. Oh, he's having a fiddle here. And if that doesn't work, he says, you can just make a little, cut the end off your piece of paper and make it more pointy. Because when you have thin paper, it's not always the best. So we still have our little thing. Good, make it a little pointy. And hopefully that should, he says, go all the way through. Okay, there we go. This is what happens when you over tighten your middle bit and your paper isn't straight. Okay, so we end up with this. You've got one of your arms for the cross, obviously there, and then all you're going to do is fold this bit back towards you again, and that will just tuck in to that little hole there. Just like that. Yay. Okay, so you end up with this piece now. Okay, now if you look from the top, you will see that this bit is open and it goes, this is the bit in. So if you fold up, if you keep that piece in front of you and you fold up from the bottom and then go over and back down, you can go straight through that little piece you just had a look at. Just like that. Okay. And then you have your cross, obviously, and then you just need to tidy this end up by folding him back up the middle. And there you have it. You have your Lent cross. Now, like I said, if you make two of these, you can actually write what you want to let go of on one of them and keep the other one ready for Palm Sunday. Okay, but the thing is, Ash Wednesday, if you want to observe Ash Wednesday, you can take those things that you wish you hadn't done and you can put them in a little Pyrex bowl or something like that. If you're a child and you're doing this, then make sure you have an adult. But you can set fire to that, because that's all we do, is we set fire to the palm crosses on Ash Wednesday. We burn them and then we mix them with some oils. Now, they're normally some special oils from the cathedral, which we don't have at the moment and you won't have in your homes. But all you need is a bit of olive oil, a little bit of vegetable oil, mix it up into a paste, and you can make the ash on your forehead. And that's all we would have done anyway. I do hope this video has helped you to understand how we make an ash cross and not to get frustrated when you're doing it and it won't quite work. But do bear with it. If you'd like to know more, if you'd like to ask any questions about it, do reach out and contact me, rev@denchurches.com. It's great to see you all. Take care and enjoy your time going through Lent. And I hope that you're sustained in whatever you've chosen to give up. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.